Imagine a time when beer was used to dress a wound or gin and tonic was prescribed to help cure malaria. Alcohol of all types has been used dating back thousands of years medicinally. And now one of the foremost booze experts in the country, dubbed the booze writer's booze writer, is out with a new book detailing the fascinating history of alcohol. Camper English is here to discuss Doctors and Distillers, the remarkable medicinal history of beer, wine, spirits, and cocktails. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So you're an expert in the field of alcohol and alcademics. You've even found a website about safer cocktail techniques that have been widely implemented in bars around the world. How did you find yourself exploring the medicinal history of alcohol?
Well, really, one day I was writing about the gin and tonic, and I wanted to find a more accurate creation date for the drink. And that led me to books on the history of medicine, because the history of cocktails is not so well documented. So I started searching in the books on malaria, because as we know, quinine in tonic water was used to prevent and cure malaria. So many books later and many months later, I learned so much about the history of medicine that I thought I would put it together in a narrative, combining that with history of alcohol, which is my specialty.
The history of alcohol is your specialty. And you were saying many books later, many months later. I was wondering, many cocktails later as well?
Well, I had to do the thorough research.
Exactly. So what is that research process like during the writing of a book like this? And as an expert in the field, what was the most interesting thing that you learned?
Oh gosh, there's so much. I learned a lot about the roots used in root beer, and I learned about how whiskey was used for just about everything in the old American West when it was cowboy medicine, essentially, and a lot about the history of medicine that I didn't know before, like how the balancing of the four humors in Greek and Roman times doctors would prescribe different wine depending on if you were more phlegmatic or melancholic and things like that. It was just full of information that I hadn't really realized touched alcohol along every step of the way.
And so those are some of the interesting things. Was there anything really strange, unusual that you came across?
Oh, sure. Plenty of that, too. There's, lots of purging and bleeding with old bad medicine, essentially, until we got up to modern day antibiotics. Medicine looked kind of messy a lot of the time. And yeah, there are a lot of strange cures with sweating out mercury and bleeding and purging and prescribing root beer for all sorts of things that it did not cure.
So in that case, you're talking about things that didn't actually work. But of course, in the book, we learn many of the libations that we enjoy today were originally created in some form of medicinal purposes. Are there any historic health claims in the book that remain medically sound today?
Well, I tend to say if you need to get healthy, see your doctor, and if you need a great cocktail, see your bartender. But there are some things that are true. Alcohol itself is a great antiseptic. It's used in like hand sanitizer in hospitals. And some of the herbs that are used in bitter aperitifs and digestif liqueurs have been proven to stimulate stomach juices and things like that. But in general, a lot of things might be historically useful, but not useful anymore today.
I remember my grandmother would say, like, if you had a stomach ache or something, drink some ginger ale, right? A lot of people kind of go along with that thinking. But when you're feeling a little under the weather, what is your go-to drink?
Oh, well, I suppose ginger ale for the upset stomach as well. And my mother always gave us Gatorade, so I still do that rather than reaching for a whiskey. Although I have to say, on a cold winter's night, a hot toddy is lovely.
How about during the summer? Because right now we're dealing with this really outrageous heat. What's your go-to cocktail at that point?
I absolutely go for a gin and tonic. It's one of my favorite drinks of all time. And everything in it was at one point used medicinally, from the juniper and the gin was used as a diuretic. The tonic waters was used against malaria, the scurvy, preventing Lyme that's in there, as well as the soda water itself was considered of great medicinal value a long time ago.
Well, I'll drink to that. Next time I place my order, I'll say, Doc, this is for medicinal purposes. I'll take another gin and tonic. Make it a double. Camper English, we thank you so much. His new book, Doctors and Distillers, The Remarkable Medicinal History of Beer, Wine, Spirits, and Cocktails, is now available wherever books are sold.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.